Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Texas Energy Fund In-ERCOT Generation Loan Program webinar. My name is Alfredo Zarate, and I will be leading this webinar. Let's get started. The purpose of this webinar is for loan program applicants to gain a better understanding of the Texas Energy Fund In-ERCOT Generation Loan Program and the application process. During this webinar, we will provide an overview of the Texas Energy Fund, or the TEF, and the In-ERCOT Generation Loan Program, including program goals and key dates and deadlines. We will conduct a step-by-step walkthrough of the application. We will address key applicant questions as well. First, I'll provide a brief overview of the TEF. The TEF provides grants and loans to finance the construction, maintenance, modernization, and operation of electric facilities in Texas. The Texas legislature passed Senate Bill 2627, the Powering Texas Forward Act, which created the TEF and allocated funding. The Public Utility Commission of Texas, or the PUCT, is tasked with administering the programs and coordinating with the Texas Comptroller's Office to manage the fund. The TEF is administered through 4 programs, each of which provides funding opportunities for electric generation projects, both inside and outside of the ERCOT region, through loans and grants. Number 1, the first program is the In-ERCOT Generation Loan Program. The second program is the Completion Bonus Grant Program. The third program is the Grants for Facilities Outside of ERCOT Power Region Program. And number 4 is the Texas Backup Power Package Program. This webinar will focus on the TEF In-ERCOT Generation Loan Program. This program is designed to offer low interest rate loans to electric generation facilities and power plants in Texas. This program may award up to $7.2 billion for both loans and grants for dispatchable power generation facilities, for example, natural gas, coal, and nuclear, within ERCOT. This webinar will provide key dates and deadlines for the In-ERCOT Generation Loan Program and a demo of how entities can submit an application. The PUCT TEF website has high-level information and status of the 4 TEF programs. The TEF online website includes details on how to apply to the 4 TEF programs, and the TEF portal is the online application submission site. Now we'll walk through the application process. The Notice of Intent. A Notice of Intent, or NOI, must have been submitted to the Commission during the period of May 1st to May 31st, 2024 to be eligible to apply. The NOIs have been received by the TEF. Everyone who has submitted an eligible NOI that complies with the rule will have received an application. Application submission. The TEF portal will open applications for the In-ERCOT Generation Loan Program for an 8-week window beginning on June 1st, 2024 and closing on July 27th, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. Central. During this period, applicants will be able to submit their applications via the TEF portal. The PUCT encourages applicants to file loan applications as early as possible. The TEF administrator will begin reviewing applications as they are submitted for completeness and accuracy. Early submittal of the applications will allow ample time to detect and resolve any issues. Application review. The TEF administrator will conduct a thorough review of each application, focusing on alignment with the evaluation criteria listed in the Rule 16 TAC 25.510F, which can be found on the PUCT website. Upon review, the TEF administrator will provide its recommendations to the Commission, which will select projects for due diligence. Prior to formal invitation to due diligence, the TEF will share a draft loan agreement with applicants for their review and acceptance. It should be noted that a corporate or parent sponsor may apply on behalf of a subsidiary applicant. Moreover, applicants have the flexibility to withdraw their applications at any stage during the Commission's review. Due diligence and loan agreements. Prior to entering due diligence, applicants will be provided a copy of the loan agreement. Applicants must indicate they are willing to comply with the terms of the loan agreement to proceed to due diligence. In the due diligence phase, a project's creditworthiness and viability will be evaluated to determine their eligibility for TEF funding. Financial close. Financial close is achieved after all loan documentation has been finalized and signed. Satisfaction of conditions precedent. The satisfaction of conditions precedent is required after the financial close to initiate loan disbursements. Only upon fulfilling these required conditions can disbursements be made. Disbursements. Disbursements for loans can be provided in single or multiple installments, contingent on project milestones and agreement terms, and may cover up to 60% of the project's documented incurred expenses that are part of the total estimated cost of construction. Once applicants meet all conditions precedent and reach financial close, disbursement requests and award reports are prepared. All conditions must be met for the first disbursement to be made prior to December 31st, 2025. Failure to comply with this requirement will result in exclusion from the program. Performance monitoring. Throughout the project lifecycle, the TEF administrator will monitor progress, financial performance, and compliance with loan covenants to mitigate risks and ensure loan repayment. This monitoring may include site visits and progress inspections. More information on post-application processes will become available after the application submission window closes. Application walkthrough. The TEF administration team will now walk through the process of filing an application in the TEF portal. And now I'll hand it over to you, George.
Thank you, Alfredo. Before we navigate to the TEF portal for a live walkthrough of the application, I want to highlight some key functionality used to navigate the portal and accurately fill out your application. All required information, meaning questions that must be answered or files that must be uploaded, will be denoted by a red asterisk. All required fields must be completed to submit the application. Another helpful tool is the Contact Us form. This form allows you to submit any questions to the TEF Contact Center directly from within the TEF portal. We highly encourage applicants to use this Contact Us form when submitting questions, so the TEF administrator may log questions and respond to them in a timely manner. Now we're going to look at the loan program application and walk through what you will need to do to apply for an In-ERCOT Generation Loan. There will be 6 sections, including an introduction page when you first open the application. The introduction page is where you will find deadline and contact us information. Multi-factor authentication. Applicants must set up multi-factor authentication using the Salesforce Authenticator app to log into the TEF portal. Users will be prompted to authenticate and use the MFA every time they log into the portal. When you get to the portal, log in with the same credentials that were used for the NOI submission and verify your account using Salesforce Multi-Factor Authentication. Download and install the Salesforce Authenticator app. You will be required to use the authenticator each time you log into the TEF portal. For iPhone, get the app from the App Store. For Android devices, get the app from Google Play. Log into the TEF portal and follow the prompt directing you to connect the Salesforce Authenticator. In the Authenticator app, select Add an Account. The app will generate a unique 2-word phrase. You'll then enter the 2-word phrase in the TEF portal, then select Connect. Please note, there may be a slight lag before the login is successful. If you previously installed the Salesforce Authenticator app for use with a different account or system, you may see a 6-digit code generated by the app. Ignore this code and select Add Account. If you are not able to access the Salesforce Authenticator, please reach out to info@txenergyfund.texas.gov. Step-by-step instructions are located in the program manual on page 14. So now we'll jump into the portal. In the TEF portal, there are a few key pages. Across the top left, you will view Home, My Dashboard, and the Contact Us tabs. In the top right corner, there will be a drop-down that says My Profile. The homepage contains high-level information about the In-ERCOT Generation Loan Program process and the programs offered under the TEF. Information will be updated as program details become available. The My Dashboard page is where application submission information is stored. The Contact Us page allows you to contact the TEF administrator with questions on the TEF and In-ERCOT Generation Loan Program process. And lastly, the My Profile dropdown includes your user details, email, first name, last name, phone number, and an option to log out. Accessing the application. To access the loan application, click on the My Dashboard tab. Note that a notice of intent must be submitted to access the loan application. Select the application from the list that has In-ERCOT loan application in the application name column. You'll be redirected to another page where you'll find under application forms both the notice of intent that was previously submitted as well as the new loan application ready to work on. Before starting, here are a few tips and tricks to keep in mind. You must save as draft for each page of the application as opposed to each section. The application cannot be submitted until all required questions in each section have been completed. The Complete This Field message indicates that there are missing fields. For a list of required questions, please see Appendix A of the program manual. Similarly, required file uploads must also be provided in order to submit the application. You can find a list of required file uploads in Appendix B of the program manual. You'll notice several questions require a numeric response. The system supports values up to 1 trillion, but no greater than 1 trillion. If you encounter an error when saving the form, please double check your responses to these questions and resolve them. The bottom of the page, under each section, will be navigation buttons. These buttons will allow you to navigate to the previous page and next page. If you modify a response to one of your questions, the system will prompt you to either save those changes or discard them. We recommend that while filling out the application, you frequently click the Save as Draft button to ensure your changes are not lost. It is also important to remember the Submit button will only be clickable when all required fields have been completed. You will receive an automatically generated email once you successfully submit the application. As you get started on your application, please familiarize yourselves with the content provided on the introduction page and then proceed on to the next pages in your application. Again, all required fields on every page are denoted with a red asterisk. As a reminder, we encourage users to save often. For security purposes, users will be auto-logged out of the portal after 20 minutes of inactivity. Users will be able to save their changes anytime prior to submitting the application. Lastly, please note that there are several other questions that require a specific numeric value, whether that be a percentage in megawatts, in minutes, megawatts per minute, etc. If a specific measurement is required, it will be denoted in the question. As you can see, this application has been pre-filled out for the purposes of this webinar. I'll proceed to the last page and show the Submit button. You do not need to necessarily navigate to the last page so long as all required fields have been completed. Lastly, please note that once you have submitted your application, you will not be able to edit or make changes. Contact the TEF administrator to assist with post-submittal corrections. And that covers our application walkthrough. I'll turn it back over to you, Alfredo. Thank you.
Thanks, George. Now I'll address some frequently asked questions that have not yet been covered. So first, can an entity submit a loan application if it did not submit a notice of intent? The answer is no. An entity must have submitted an NOI via the TEF portal and PUCT interchange to submit the loan application. Question 2, is there a cap on the size of a single loan? TEF loans may only be approved for up to 60% of the estimated cost of any given project. Should a facility serve both the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, or ERCOT, grid, and a private use network, or industrial load, the loan amount must not exceed 60% of the estimated cost associated with the capacity that is dedicated to the ERCOT grid. In the event the PUCT has more than 4 pending applications for the In-ERCOT loans program on the date the commission awards a loan, the amount of the loan award may not exceed 25% of the fund balance on that date. What are the eligibility requirements for the program? A power generation company, municipally owned utility, electric cooperative, or river authority is eligible for a loan. An electric utility other than a river authority is not eligible for a loan. Potential applicants to the In-ERCOT Generation Loan Program can access all eligibility requirements, including details for both eligible facilities and eligible projects, in 16 TAC 25.510C. Can an applicant save the application and fill it out later? Yes. If an applicant clicks Save as Draft on a page, the information on that page will be saved, and the applicant can fill out the remaining parts of the application at a later date. How will the PUCT determine which companies receive loans beyond meeting basic criteria for qualifying submissions? The PUCT staff and contractors serving as the TEF administrator will evaluate applications for TEF funding. The TEF administrator will assess each application for adequacy, conduct due diligence on applications to gauge the feasibility of each proposal, and provide the commission with recommendations for funding. The TEF administrator review will assess the extent to which an applicant addresses and meets evaluation criteria. The commission will review the TEF administrator's recommendation based on loan application evaluation criteria and will make the ultimate determination of the award. Can a single entity receive multiple loans for separate projects? Yes, entities can apply for and be eligible to receive loans for more than one project. Each project will be evaluated on its own application and merits. Can an applicant make changes to the application once it has been submitted? An applicant cannot make edits to the application once it has been submitted. However, if an applicant has submitted an application that contains an error, the applicant can contact the TEF administrator to assist in initiating a correction as soon as possible. When will an applicant find out if it has been approved for a loan? Once the application window is closed, the TEF administrator will review the applications and provide recommendations to the commission. The anticipated timeline for the commission to select projects to enter due diligence is September 2024. However, this may change subject to the volume of applications received. The TEF administrator will make every effort to review applications and advance projects to due diligence as quickly as possible. How will loan disbursements be made? Upon the initial closing of the loan agreement and after the borrower has met the conditions outlined in the loan agreement, the disbursement will be subject to the drawdown schedule as specified in the loan agreement with the borrower. That may include an initial loan disbursement for up to 60% of qualifying and documented incurred expenses that are part of the total estimated cost of construction for the project, or for the portion of the project dedicated to the ERCOT grid, where applicable, as verified by the TEF administrator. An applicant's equity contributions will be either funded pro rata with TEF debt or will be required in their entirety prior to the funding of TEF debt, based on the credit quality of the application and the discretion of the commission, as outlined in the loan agreement. If an applicant is not selected to receive a loan, are they still eligible for the Completion Bonus Grant Program? An entity may file an application for a Completion Bonus Grant Award even if it is not selected for an In-ERCOT loan award. The In-ERCOT Generation Loan and Completion Bonus Grant programs have different goals and criteria. Applications for each will be evaluated within the scope of the relevant program. Thus, the application for receipt of or denial of a loan does not increase or decrease the likelihood of being awarded a Completion Bonus Grant. We encourage you to complete the following actions. Complete and submit your In-ERCOT Generation Loan application by 11:59 p.m. Central Time on July 27, 2024. And if you have questions about the TEF programs or application process, please contact the TEF Contact Center with the information provided on this slide. Thank you all very much for joining us for this webinar. We look forward to receiving your applications.